So actually, was that the city tower bells? I've got 7 o'clock now. Okay, Councilmember Millsap's on his way in, so he can go ahead and get this underway. We will start with an invocation by Councilmember Wright and a pledge by Councilmember Smith.
Our dear kind Heavenly Father, we're grateful for this day and grateful for the many blessings that Thou hast given us. Grateful for this opportunity that we have to be here tonight as citizens to do what's best for Springville. We're grateful for the opportunity we have to serve, and we ask that Thy blessing and Thy Spirit will be with us, and we ask for these things in the name of Thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Will the audience please arise?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
That mic's not catching you very much. Thanks.
Is that better? Okay. So I would like to excuse Mayor Packard. He's out of town, and I've been elected to be Mayor Pro Tem tonight. So I will take a motion for approval of the meeting's agenda.
A motion that we approve the meeting's agenda is written.
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Just before we get too far into this, I'd just like to bring everybody's attention to the art festival taking place this weekend, Friday and Saturday. There's information around town about that. You can see the times and so forth. A lot of it will be down here, and then there's a concert up at the Arts Park Saturday night. So avail yourself of that. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of fun artists and things going on during that festival. So please come down and do that. Do we have any? Doesn't look like we have any students or scouts or anything with us, do we? If we have any students that are here for anything pertaining to their education, we like to invite them up here to the rostrum, if you'd like to come up.
We have got some candy in the drawers if there are students.
There is candy. I mean, we could put the bait out, I guess. Okay, doesn't look like it. Okay. With that, we'll move on to our public comment. Do we have any more than these three that have been turned in? Okay. So we have 3 public comments concerning the construction up at the top of 620 South, above the high school there. So we'll go ahead and proceed with those. And the first one is with Mr. Uriona, right? Did I get it right? Oh, very good. But I didn't ask if it was very good. Did I get it right?
Yeah, no, that's actually, it's scary looking, but it's pretty phonetic, so
okay.
Nice work.
Very good.
Yeah, my name's Dane Uriona. I guess I've been a resident of Springville for just about a decade now, which I guess by Springville terms is really short. Seems like everyone's a lifer or multi-generation. But my family lives just on East Ridge Drive, which is just below Canyon, right next to the 620 intersection there. We've had 3 kids attend the junior high there. We've got 2 that are still at the high school, 1 that's already finished with high school. And as a parent of kids that regularly cross that street, whether to the junior high or to the high school, we've been very invested in making sure that it was a safe thing over the years. And while obviously I'm sure everyone knows here, our neighborhood has lost someone there, and so it's an emotional thing. But we're not here to grandstand. We're not here to make a fuss. But we are hoping to actually maybe be able to do some work to mitigate safety at that intersection going forward. We're very grateful. We've seen the plans from Brad Stapley for the new intersection, and we're very grateful for the concern and the thought that has been put into it, and for all of the changes like the reduced speed limit, 5 miles an hour, the narrowing of the lanes to try to make the crossing shorter for the kids. We're very grateful for all of those steps that have been made. So we, even after those things have been done, as parents, feel like it's still a very dangerous intersection. And we were hoping to maybe do some more to mitigate the danger as the kids cross there, especially in the early mornings and afternoon. Anyone who's been near that intersection has seen how far it gets backed up and how kind of desperate traffic gets around there, especially with all the high school kids driving in and out. And so we met with Brad to try to talk about options, and he invited us back with our neighbors. So I think our neighbors, for a while at least, only sat on the right side of the room, but it's like we filled in. But we met with Brad and discussed all of the things the city has considered, all the things that they've done, all the things that they've done to prep the intersection for maybe future changes, things like that, which we were very grateful for. And in talking to him, it became really apparent to us as citizens and neighbors that we needed to get together and figure out what we wanted. We did. We went back and considered all of the things that Brad had said and shown, and we, as a neighborhood, considered all the needs of the people who live right next to the intersection, the people who live further back, the people with kids crossing the road. And the conclusion that we came to as a neighborhood was the thing that we think would actually be viable or feasible from a cost perspective, a time perspective, and all those things, and something that would keep traffic flowing through the area without stopping traffic unnecessarily, was to install a hawk light. And that's an overhead light that's an actual stop light, and you push the button, it turns red, and then, well, it turns orange first, and then turns red, and then the kids can cross, and then it goes back to being off. So this isn't a permanent four-way stop or stop light, which we know is a lot more expensive and would definitely potentially back up traffic in the area, causing problems for everyone traveling that route and for the local neighbors who live right there. So we think that this is a viable solution. From a cost perspective, it's not much more than installing the two blinking yellow lights on both sides of the road. So we think that that's a good trade-off. And additionally, we recognize that traffic patterns are going to change over the next year or two as they open the intersection on 4 South at the top of the high school. I don't know the exact. Anyone know off the top of their head? They're going to put in a light on 4th right there as you enter. Okay, you guys know what we're talking about. Right. So we recognize that traffic patterns will change, and maybe this can be reassessed. But this is a low-cost solution that should make it safer for the kids that are crossing there and other pedestrians that are crossing at other times of the day. We considered all sorts of other options, school zones, a light, like an all-out light, all those things. And after talking to everybody in the neighborhood, we felt like this served the needs of the community the best. So we have about 80 signatures. I'll submit that at another time from just the local neighbors. But that was just from going to the people that lived in the immediate area to talk to them, because we thought it made the most sense to focus on them since it would affect them the most, people who were right around that intersection. So we have about 80 signatures. We easily could get more. As I went around to talk to people, the thing that I got from it was that everyone is very passionate about this. They're very invested in it. I don't think most of the houses that I went to I could get out of within 30 or 40 minutes. Everyone had a lot to say. And so I'm sure you guys have heard a lot about this intersection too. We feel like this is a good way to meet the needs of everybody. As a community, we've gotten together and spoken on it, and everyone's made compromises to get to this place. So we're submitting to you our desire to actually get a hawk light put in at that intersection for the crossing from the house side to the high school side of the road. And that's what we hope to achieve today. Like I said, I'll give you the official document that we sent around and got signatures for. And like I said, if you look at the addresses on the signature sheet, they're almost all directly right around the circle, because we felt like they were the ones most impacted by any kind of change there. So we wanted to make sure we got their input first.
Very good. Can you give that to Kim?
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't know if I could officially submit it now or later or whatever, but I'll
if you could give that to Kim, that'd be
okay.
great.
Thank you, and I appreciate you guys' time. Thanks.
You bet. Thank you.
Thank you.
And one other thing I'd just like to make a comment on. We are so appreciative of you people being here tonight. We usually don't get a large turnout to council meetings, and we so much appreciate the input from our residents and citizens so that it's easier for us to make decisions and do the things that you would like us to have done. We work for you, but we can't make those decisions in a vacuum, and this is very helpful to us. So please feel good about coming here. We hope we see more of it. Unfortunately, we can't do any action on any of this, but it certainly will enter into our discussions.
In this meeting specifically.
In this meeting. We can do things on it, just not here. Thanks, Logan. Okay, next is Tyler Redmond. And this is on the same topic, but a little bit different subject, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm Tyler Remond.
Remond, I'm sorry.
Yeah, oh, it's fine. Yeah. I'm a licensed civil engineer, and I also live at 702 Canyon Road with my wife, my 9-year-old son, 7-year-old daughter, and 10-month-old baby. First, we'd like to petition City Council to change the name of the road to Canyon Cul-de-sac instead of Canyon Road, because the road closure's been fantastic. But
That has been kind of nice the last little while, hasn't it?
yeah, it has. It's been great.
Yeah, I've gone for a walk with my wife up there, and kids are out playing on their bikes and riding around in the street. Yeah.
Yeah, once I learned that construction was happening on our road, I looked up the design drawings and was concerned. This is the intersection that my kids will use if they walk to elementary school, which there is no, assigned bus to come to our house. They'd have to cross this intersection to go to middle school and to go to high school. This is also the crossing that we do take when we're on time to church, when we actually walk. So I guess kind of for reference, so my oldest son, he's 9, he's turning 10. He's 56 inches tall. The hood height on a Chevy Silverado is 55 inches. And so, as a parent, I'm super concerned about road safety. I'm, trying to teach my kids how to cross the road safely. And I feel like I can do that when it's, traffic coming from 2 directions. But at this new intersection, to cross one time, you'll have traffic coming from 5 different directions. So, Dane here has
I'm
a,
sure you guys have already seen this.
yeah, have a plan.
It's good to have a refresher, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can bring it up so we can see it.
So that's a pretty big concern for me. I don't feel like I can, with the age of my kids are right now, I don't feel like I can teach them well enough to cross this intersection by themselves, especially because the majority of traffic on Canyon Road is coming unimpeded, right? So those are cars traveling at 35 miles an hour likely. And, if you're a motorist coming from the east side, if you're coming, when the high school is opening or closing, there's likely going to be traffic in that turn lane on Canyon Road that will impede your view of the intersection until you actually get to it. If you're a motorist coming from the west side, during middle school, right, when middle school's opening or closing, you'll likely have traffic in that turn lane as well. You'll have the same issue, compounded by the fact that you're, coming around the curve there. But then you also have a pedestrian crosswalk right there. So if you have a kid in that crosswalk, in front of the turn lane or on the other side, that traffic won't be able to see them. And given, like Dane said, we've talked about this. We've made compromises, and kind of given where we are in construction, I also think that the solution is the installation of a hawk signal. I have a picture kind of what that looks like, for people that aren't aware. Other cities have these.
Can you bring that up or
Sure.
have?
Yeah, so the first one's a picture. The second one kind of shows how the lights sequence on a hawk signal. Other cities have these. Salt Lake has these. Phoenix has 100 of these. Tucson has 70. Tucson, Arizona was the first city to implement these, and an FHWA study conducted on 21 of those crossings in Tucson found a 69% reduction in pedestrian crashes compared to a just normal unsignaled crosswalk. We think that this is very feasible. We estimate that the cost for this would be about $80,000, roughly, and compared to the total cost of this project, which is about 1.3 million, before change orders, we believe that would be a reasonable price to pay for the extra safety that would provide. And yeah, we'd like to thank you for your consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And next we have Jolene Maines. Did I get that right? Very, very good.
Most people don't get it right, so that's pretty good.
Well, I went to Finland on my mission, so that's helpful.
So there we go. Unusual names, right? Okay, so I am just here to add my support for the Hawk Light, and that at that meeting that was held September 3rd with Brad, we basically, as a neighborhood, the people that were in attendance came to a consensus on this Hawk Light idea as a safe option for children and all pedestrians, frankly, to be able to cross Canyon Road safely. And I will say that when we moved here, I live right near Canyon Road on East Ridge Drive as well. And when we moved here, my daughter was at the junior high, and so I drove her because I didn't feel like it was safe for her to cross. And so that's what I chose to do as a parent. And I kept thinking, this is just really not safe. And then one morning, I hear sirens, and it's right at the school hour, right? And I go, oh my gosh, something's happened. And I went outside and just walked right up the street, and there it was. I got to see the terrible aftermath of an auto pedestrian accident with a Springville High student, and who eventually died as a result of that auto pedestrian accident as she was on her way to school that morning. So for me, it was super traumatizing, and I went to her funeral even because I was so just choked up about it. It's really, when you see something right in front of you, it's hard to not react to that because it becomes super real. So that's how it felt to me. So anyway, I'm just here to advocate for the Hawk Light because it's something that we felt like could be not only a benefit to provide safe crossing for pedestrians, but also it would allow the traffic flow to be more efficient on Canyon Road, because when the button is not pushed, the traffic flows unimpeded, right? So it's kind of a win-win, really, to allow that traffic flow to continue when there's no one crossing, but then also allow for a safe crossing. So I am a super supporter of this idea, and I think that it could just be such a great solution to this really perplexing problem that I think everyone has felt kind of unsure about what to do, right? And so I hope that you will consider this, and I feel like this could really tie in to the ongoing construction project that's happening right now, and that it could be something that could just be implemented into that project. So I thank you for your time.
Again, thank you all for coming. We think this is great. The organization that's happened here and the effort that's been put into this, we see what's gone on. We're very appreciative of the input, and we will certainly have continuing discussions about this. Like I said, we can't do anything about it tonight, obviously, but we can have continuing discussions, and we've heard some great comments. We appreciate those comments, and we appreciate the support that these fine people have come up and talked, and for all the support that you've, as a neighborhood, that you've given them. And if you have any other concerns that you'd like to talk to any council member about, you're certainly welcome to contact us. Our contact numbers are on or our contact information is on the city's website. So we very much appreciate it. The other thing I'd like to mention too is the fact that you came here with a solution. It's often we get comments of complaints and things like that that are important. Those are important to us. But it's not often that we get solid, viable solutions, and you've come here with something that we can actually go to work on, and we appreciate that. Thank you very much. And you're all welcome to stay. Troy, it looks like Troy will take those that have spoken out and have a chat with them, and if anybody wants to join him, I'm sure he'd love to be surrounded by anybody that would like to listen. So it's entirely up to you.
Dane, would you like your diagram back? We have access. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we know what it is, so we're good. Yep, that's great.
That's all you, man.
And what about these pictures? Do you need these, Kim? Okay. Okay, yeah, if he doesn't want them, then we'd like to have Kim have them.
Should we work on that consent agenda?
Yep, we can do that. Somebody want to make a motion on the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's approved. And we have a public hearing for consideration of a resolution and amendment to the Springville City fiscal year 2025-2026 budget. Bruce, you ready for that? We're looking forward to a lot of excitement here.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I'll choose not to take offense that no one wants to stay and listen to the budget amendment.
I'm staying.
None of the public, to clarify. I have that effect. We're a few months in, or just a couple months into the new budget year. We've had a number of things that have come up that need some council action. So I'll just go through this list. A little more detailed explanation of each of these items was included in your staff report that was in your packet. So you may already be familiar with these. If you've got any questions, just stop me along the way. And if I don't know the answer, we'll ask the director that it's associated with. Just kind of starting at the top, we had actually a donation that was offered to the city last fiscal year, and the funds were not spent by the end of the year. So this amendment is to reappropriate those dollars from the donation into the police department's emergency management grant line item. That was intended for some rehabilitation of materials and supplies for the CERT team. Similarly, we had a grant from the state that was actually came to the city in 2024. It's restricted dollars. We rebudgeted those dollars last fiscal year and spent a portion of them, but there's still about $29,600 left from that grant, which I think originally was around $60,000 or $70,000. So the police department would like to rebudget those for the new fiscal year. So that's $29,600. The Art Museum is proposing to shift some dollars, so there's actually the last line in this table and this next item are related. And the proposal is to reduce some of the dollars that are currently budgeted in the Capital Improvement Fund for public art projects by $16,000 and add those dollars to the operations budget with the intent of hiring a temporary part-time employee that is an art coordinator to help actually do some of the projects that are already budgeted. That position will go away once that specific work is done.
Is there a timeline on that, Emily? Okay.
The next item you actually heard a presentation in our study session about. So this is a $25,000 grant that came from the county to enhance the Communities That Care program that's currently housed in the library. So this would be the appropriation of those dollars and official authority to go ahead and spend it. The next item is in our newly formed streets fund. There were dollars budgeted last year for an update to the master plan, and some of those dollars were spent, but not all of them were spent before the end of the fiscal year. So this is to reappropriate those dollars associated with the master plan update for expenditure in the current budget year. The next item is also in the streets fund. There's been some progress made on, at least in terms of negotiations and some doors opening there for acquiring additional property related to the 1200 West corridor extension. We've got a couple more properties that lined up that will likely be closed upon this current fiscal year. So we'd like to appropriate $1 million for the acquisition of that property. All that will be reimbursed by Mountain Land Association of Governments through their corridor preservation funds. The next one, you're already aware of this one, but we hadn't taken formal action on it yet. We did receive a county grant of $750,000 to add some additional enhancements to the already enhanced amphitheater at the Arts Park. So there's the $1 million donation that we received from
McWayne Ductile.
Wayne Ductile, whose name escaped me there for a second. So adding to that is another $750,000 from the county grant. We talked about the $16,000 reduction to the public arts project. The last three are all related and very similar to the item that was in the streets fund, which is just 3 more master plan updates, one in the water fund, well, 2 in the water fund, one for culinary water and one for pressurized irrigation, and then in the sewer fund. Again, these are master plan updates that are already underway. They've been contracted with the consultants and partially expended in the previous year, but they didn't quite get finished up before the end of the fiscal year. So this is to rebudget those dollars and complete those plan updates in the current budget year. So that's the extent of the proposed amendments. If you've got any questions, I'd be happy to address those. Otherwise, we'd look for a motion on the resolution.
Well, we got to open it up for public hearing.
Yeah,
Then,
we do.
Yeah.
Any questions from the council on this?
So I just want to make sure that these, for the master plan updates, that we will not need to take any more money from any of these. This will be the final payment to cover the master plan update from these different funds.
Yes, that's correct. Barring any unforeseen circumstances, but none of the departments may be aware that they had any concerns that this would be short.
Okay. That was my only question.
Anything else? Okay, I'll open the public hearing.
Well, seeing that there's no comment other than Troy, let's close the public hearing. I motion we close the public hearing.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we need a motion on
approve
the
resolution 2025-32 to open and amend the general fund, capital improvement fund, streets fund, water fund, and sewer fund budgets for operating and capital expenses applying to the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026, as outlined in Exhibit A.
Second.
Okay, that's a roll call vote. Mindy?
Yes.
Yes. Jake?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Logan?
Yes.
Okay, agenda item number 4, consideration of a resolution and agreement with the Utah County Health Department and a Communities That Care partnership. Dan?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. Yep, as we discussed in the previous meeting, just want to answer any questions you might have. With our agreement, Utah County Health Department, which will allow us to have additional funds to further our efforts for community health initiatives. Not sure what else.
Who is that presented? She's pretty good. I like
Yeah,
that.
Jessica.
She's only been with us, what, a year? Is that what she was saying?
Maxwell, right, yeah, she's had previous experience. I decided to
Vineyard,
cut her
yeah.
loose since it was her husband's birthday
Oh, nice.
and do this part myself, I guess. So, no, she's phenomenal, and I think
I don't think Craig was inferring that she's better than you are.
Oh, she was.
He was just saying she was very,
No,
very, very good.
She was dedicated to the cause.
Absolutely.
She was.
Very.
And I'll give her a lot of credit that seeing these opportunities, it takes someone that's really kind of embedded in what's going on to find these opportunities.
Did she find that opportunity?
Yeah.
And filled out all the paperwork and
Having had previous experience, it was something that she's like, hey, I know how to do this. This is money. And so as we talked and we've spoken with city attorney and some other staff, they're like, hey, this seems like a real win-win situation.
it's great.
Yeah,
Okay.
great.
I'll
Very good.
motion to approve resolution number 2025-33, authorizing the mayor to execute an interlocal cooperation agreement between Utah County and Springville City Library to implement the Communities That Care model for FY26.
Can I just interject really fast on that before we have a second? The agreement's actually signed by Dan, not the mayor, and he's already signed it. So if you want to make an amendment or just to further state on what you just motioned, that'd be great.
That Dan Mickelson may also sign and execute an interlocal cooperation agreement. I'll also add that to this motion.
Okay, thank
I
you.
will second that.
Okay, that's a roll call vote. Logan?
Yes.
Yes. Craig?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Mindy?
Yes.
Okay, that is the end of our regular agenda items. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to bring up during this meeting?
Actually, Attorney Penrod does have an item or so to bring up, which would then cause us to not need a closed session if you'd take it in here.
We'll take it in here.
Do it.
Okay. A while back, we talked about an opioid settlement that was going on nationally. It is now ready to move to the next level, and so what the history's been is Utah has joined the settlement, and now all the cities are going to join the settlement as well. And I need to sign that by September 30th, so I just want to make sure everybody's okay with me signing that. It's with Purdue, or it's against Purdue, I should say, and then 8 other smaller pharmaceuticals in this settlement. And right now, we don't know how much money we would receive, but if we don't sign up, we don't receive anything. And if we want to go after them, we'd have to go after them individually, and it would be maybe even impossible to do that. But when we get the money, I think we're supposed to use it for what we just talked about to help with things like prevention and other such things. So is everybody okay if I sign that?
It is, but I just want to make clear when you say Purdue, that's Purdue Pharmaceuticals, not Purdue University.
Definitely.
Okay.
I don't want to sue Purdue
Okay.
University. No, it's Purdue Pharmaceuticals.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure we
No,
had that
thank
clear.
you. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, I'm
And
good.
Yeah, we're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what's that?
We could probably cover the other one, talk through what we want to do with the other one.
Okay. Josh, do you want to present on the other one? So what has happened is every so often, as you know, we get billboard companies that want to move billboards. And so we just want to get a little bit, not necessarily you vote because it's not before you, but to kind of let you know what we're up against.
This isn't any other one that we've ever discussed. This is a different.
This is a different one. Yeah, well, it's one we've discussed, but it's like a move on the one we discussed.
Thanks, John. I'm sure I will rely on you for some legal advice here or guidance. The billboard in question is Reagan Billboards is looking or has applied to relocate a billboard that was formerly located at this location here at the Car Corral on 1400 North. Their initial application was to relocate it under the provisions of state code that allow them to relocate a billboard by right within a certain area, adhering to certain conditions. They applied to relocate it here, just south of the old Stalker Club, in front of what we in the neighborhood call the Log Cabin Apartments at 521 North Main Street.
And just those, the conditions are, they can move it in any commercial zone, industrial zone, not a residential zone, but they can move it within a mile, and they have the right to do that. Now, the city could say, hey, no, we're not going to allow you to do that, but then we start eminent domain proceedings, and we have to buy the billboard if we were to do that. And the last one we had appraised was, I don't know, 10 years, I don't know, 5 to 10 years ago, and it was about $600,000 to buy a billboard.
There is a provision in a couple sections before the standard relocation provisions in the state code that allows the city to enter into a 180-day period where they work with the billboard company to find a mutually acceptable alternative location for that billboard. And that can include, at the city's discretion, any other site within the city, not just the sites called out under the by right relocation statute.
So it doesn't, in that case, it doesn't have to be within a mile.
Correct. We have very little or no opportunity for additional billboards based on the state code requirements for spacing on our major arterial streets, our state highways, and I-15.
So that means we don't have anywhere else we could put it?
We don't have many options. There's not like an easy open spot on I-15.
What are the dimensions on that sign? How high is it?
It is 45 feet to the top of the sign, and it is 12 by 24, I believe, is the dimensions of the sign face.
And they want to maintain that height and dimension?
Correct. They have, under the relocation code, they have the ability to maintain the height and the area of the sign face, but then also adjust the angles or change it to a digital face at their discretion.
Are there other signs similar to that on Main Street? I'm trying to think.
There are actually a number of signs on Main Street. A couple of them are privately owned. Some of them are bigger billboard companies. There's two to the north. There's one here at the north end of this storage area, and there's actually one here at the south side of this other storage area. And there's a small billboard on South Main Street as well on the east side of the road. Off the top of my head, I can't remember if there are any more within that core area. So Reagan came back to us in July with a proposal to relocate the billboard at 688 South Main Street in the pork chop between the 89 ramp. We weren't able to accept that because they didn't actually have an accurate description of the property boundaries, and were proposing to locate the sign outside of the actual private parcel. They've come back now with a survey and a proposal to locate the sign in a way that would be in conformance with code in terms of its location on the site. It would likely, or it would remove one parking stall. So there's a couple considerations. We are now past the point where we can force the billboard company into negotiations around eminent domain of the sign. We have 180 days from the initial application, which was in December, to undertake most of those options. They are still collaborating with us because they're past the point where they could have, by right, just gone and put it up on the 621 North site. But that's likely the outcome because we're we've told them that in this location, that the installation of the sign triggers certain landscaping requirements because of the value of the project, and as a percentage of the cost of the project, they have to install some landscaping improvements.
Yes. So just in a short question,
Sorry.
we don't like this location as staff because it's right at the end of Main Street. And so right now we're saying, hey, go back to your mile, which is that other property. And so we just want to make sure we're okay doing
So
that.
you like the party land one?
Yes, because it's not right in the middle of Main Street.
Of the two, that's what I would prefer as well.
Okay.
And they have to buy the property that they're gonna put that,
No,
they can just put it on somebody's property?
no, they have to have a lease with the property owner.
And they already have a lease there?
That's between them. We don't know if they have a lease or
So
not.
if they don't get the lease there, then they're gonna look at this other option on South Main Street?
They can't look at the other option because it's not within the mile. It's
Okay.
got to be within 500, unless we let them. Yes.
And as staff, you guys are saying you don't want, because I mean, it'd be a great spot for one if you were an advertiser, because it's like, whoa.
I
everything's
did a
changing,
quick
but-
look up in Google Earth. It is very visible, like more visible than the flag.
Yeah, down here, that's what I'm saying. So if you were an advertiser, you would freaking love it
Yeah.
down here.
So- But we just want to make sure you're okay with the direction we're going.
Which we will have, likely the outcome will be that
Party
they
land.
will install a billboard here in front of those log cabin apartments.
These laws are crazy. It's crazy they can just do that. Can't even put up a campaign sign.
They have a strong lobbying presence on the hill.
So if, I'm just saying, if they don't get the lease there, can they come back to you and then propose it? They'll just keep coming back to you to propose another site and another site?
Eventually, they could abandon the use, but that's going to take over a year. So
So if they get the lease here, then we'll say, okay, but if they
At
don't.
the 521,
Yeah, this.
we
one.
actually don't have any ability to say anything
other than okay,
other than okay at
Oh.
this point.
because it's been over the 100.
The only thing that's gonna stop it from going in there is if the property owner says,
Right.
I'm not gonna lease it, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
How
so
frequently can they leapfrog then to another site? Can they slowly work themselves to?
they probably could, but they've got to actually have the sign in the ground,
Right.
and then they can move
I
it.
understand
That's,
there's
the
a
state
cost.
law just allows them to move within a mile as long as it's within a commercial or industrial zone.
That is,
You know, they've asked for that on I-15 before, and kind of that was my response at that time. Like, well, you can leapfrog it, but we're going to make you install it and then fully remove it before you can leapfrog it. You're not just going to tell us you're going to leapfrog sites.
Yeah.
So this doesn't enforce any landscaping or anything?
It would have the same impact here. The catch on the southern site, and it's really minutia, but is interesting. The catch on the southern side is that the first element of the landscaping, of missing landscaping improvements that shall be installed under the zone are street frontage landscaping improvements. And if you look at this parcel, which isn't exactly in the right place, but it's close, you can see that installing street frontage landscape improvements at the property line would have a detrimental effect on the usability of the property. Where that would not be the case
They've already got sidewalk and.
at 521 or at 621.
Well, and eventually things will change on that south side of town, right? Isn't that the plan?
Yeah.
I'll probably still be
Yeah,
alive.
they're already
Thinking I might
changing.
be.
I might be dead, but you might be still. Matt and I might be dead.
Okay. Well,
Is
that's
that all you
fine.
had?
That's-
Yeah.
I had one more item. Mayor Packard was wanting to hold a kind of mid-year meeting or retreat to just cover a variety of topics. We're still working on the agenda with him. But he's hoping to reserve a date with the council, and he's proposed November 11th. That's a Tuesday. That's one of our electable holidays, but we would be available on the 11th. He has other days that week that would work, so is it possible for you to check your calendars and see if that would work? We haven't set an agenda, so I'd assume kind of late afternoon into the evening is what he was looking for.
Elections, the 4th or the 11th?
The 4th.
Yeah,
So
Planning
we'll know
Commission.
who our new representatives are by then.
hopefully.
Could they attend?
What's that?
Could they attend?
Certainly, in fact, that would be one of the discussion points we had, that we would invite any elected members of the council.
It's Veterans Day, the 11th.
Yeah,
Is there gonna be planning commission on that day?
it would be, yes. I don't know if you're holding it. Josh, are you holding planning commission on Veterans Day? Do you know that far out? The 11th.
11th.
11/11.
Yep.
Mhm.
And I think the mayor had the other days except for Thursday, if there's a preferable day for everyone. Okay.
I'm okay for that week. Any day that week.
That's a good week. That's a good day for me.
Yeah, the 11th works for me.
The 11th is fine.
It
for me.
works for me.
All right, sounds good.
Could we make it at 11 o'clock?
Again, at 11:11.
11:11?
11:11.
And we can go to 11:11.
Yeah.
Oh.
There we go.
That's a
Oh,
long
11:11.
meeting.
11/11.
Armistice Day.
Yeah.
We can have
Well,
11.
it's either short or long, depending on the 11 that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else?
I'm going to be in this meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone, for your time.
All those people are gone.